to this Cinco de Mayo version of the Bench Podcast.
¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué pasó?
To preface this, we are Mexican, so we'll have to do this.
I don't think I can do any of this stuff.
AJ, shut up.
Welcome, guys. Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Yes.
Hola.
So, are you celebrating? I got my Cinco de Mayo beads on.
Okay, that's a thing.
I'm pretty sure that's a New Orleans thing.
Sure. Well, we're good.
Listen, after weeks of planning, we just thought, you know what? We need to plan a Cinco de Mayo show.
Cinco de Mayo show, baby.
Yeah.
It's a big
To be honest,
day.
we do this together in about a couple minutes. But happy Cinco de Mayo to all you out there. We have our festive sombrero on set. I took down all my guys. I just got my boys up here for Fernando and
Vicente Fernandez.
yeah, there you go.
Goodness gracious.
Oh, Ricky Fernandez.
Esteban.
Shout out to Rich.
Javier.
In celebration right now, some of your favorite famous Hispanics of all time.
Okay.
Listen, Ricky from I Have Lucy.
Yeah.
Ricky Ricardo. I mean,
Hispanics, not Mexicans.
Hispanics. Yeah, Hispanics.
Gotcha, Hispanics. Okay.
I guess it should be Mexicans. Should be Mexican holiday. Favorite Mexicans of all time.
I got one.
Yeah.
Oscar De La Hoya.
Oh.
East LA native.
I have another one. Canelo Alvarez.
Okay.
Not exactly friends.
They're not friends right now. They do not like each other right now.
I don't know if you saw that. Those two went at each other at a press conference.
When this comes out, Canelo would have fought already.
Last night, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah.
Fighting another Mexican kid.
He had a great fight. He won. And
What a fantastic bout.
And the other option, if he loses,
he might lose.
huh?
Then for sure the other guy won.
Who's also Mexican. So,
Yep, so either way, we win, baby. Favorite Mexican, guys. Favorite Mexican.
There's a lot out there. Too many to choose. I can't.
I'm gonna go with that one dude that was in Star Wars.
One dude. There's a Mexican in Star
Yeah,
Wars?
he played the senator, Bail Organa, in the prequels.
oh my God. Yeah.
Jimmy Smits.
Jimmy Smits.
That's
There
his
you
name.
go.
Who is the actor who's like basically like the one Mexican actor that they give all the Mexican guy roles to?
Oh, is that he?
He's an
bald
Ant-Man. No,
dude.
he's an Ant-Man.
His name is Hector. Oh, you're talking about.
They give all the young
in, like,
Mexican
Evan
roles
Almighty.
to.
Pena.
Yeah,
Michael Pena.
Shout out to
thought
the
you were talking
token
about,
Mexican of
That's
Hollywood.
like a bald guy. He's in Fast
He's
and
like the
Furious.
2000. He's in
Bruce Almighty.
He's the one before.
He's in Training Day.
The Training Day. Yeah.
Every role he's played, his name is Hector.
Oh, God.
Every role.
That's pretty cool, though.
Shout
Think
out
about it.
to George Lopez.
Oh,
George
duh,
Lopez.
yeah.
Yep.
Slightly getting his street rep back. Slightly.
What? He lost his street.
Oh, yeah. He lost it big time. Couple years
Do I
back.
want to know what he did or no?
He just put down a young comedian that was also Hispanic, and the Hispanic community did not like that
He
one.
did kind of disappear, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had to go away for like two years.
Hey, a lot of great Mexican comedians out there.
Oh yeah.
Gabriel Iglesias.
Oh, good one.
A lot of great ones,
Good
and
pull.
Gabriel Iglesias. Wait, is that the guy they call Fluffy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
screw
man.
that guy.
You don't
He's
like
not,
him?
He's not funny.
I
He's
love
not
his
funny.
comedy.
That's the thing about comedians, though. To each his own.
It's whatever you like.
Yeah,
Dude.
that's true. That's true.
He's fun.
Flavor. You like that flavor of Mexican. I got some Cinco de Mayo facts for you because let's make this also educational for the children.
Yeah.
I didn't even intro the show. Welcome to Bench. Welcome to the Bench
This is a
podcast.
big one for us.
If this is your first time.
This is your first time. Honestly, you shouldn't start with the Sunday episode. You should probably start with the Friday episodes. Those are the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, welcome to the show. Joined by my co-host, also Mexican, Angel, co-host, little brother. How you doing, man?
This is going great, dude. Welcome to the show. I'm doing great. ¿Cómo estás?
Muy buen.
Me llamo Ángel.
Yep.
Soy muy guapo.
Soy muy guapo.
So muy guapo.
Over at the producer's
Been saying
desk,
that for years.
one Mexican, one African American. How you doing, boys?
Great.
Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Bueno.
You got your mustaches on? Or
Oh, yeah. Right here. Here we
Yeah.
go.
Orale. I like it. I like
That's so racist, dude. Sheesh. If our mom watches this,
I thought our last show was stupid.
She might come to tears. Just like,
I mean,
I thought our last show was stupid. This is
growing.
it's off to a great start. Yeah, make sure you're following us on all the social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. Search at Bench Show to find us on all those. And of course, the audio version of the Bench Podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, anywhere you get your podcasts, we're out there.
And hit that SAP button.
No, I don't. None of us speak Spanish.
why would you? No,
None of us speak Spanish.
Nothing's
so
gonna happen.
Not going to be a problem.
We're gonna dub this episode.
We should.
We're gonna dub it.
Just with English. Also, make sure you check out the website, benchshow.com. Announcements, articles, content, rankings, fantasy content, all that good stuff. That is benchshow.com. Check that out. Okay, finally. Sorry, I've been raring to go to get to these facts here.
Here we go.
Cinco de Mayo. Here we go. Cinco de Mayo actually isn't Mexico's Independence Day.
Yeah, I did know that.
So
I know
what the
right
hell
now.
are we doing?
Give me the sombrero.
Mexicans, actually, like the actual people from Mexico, don't even call it Cinco de Mayo. They call it
May 5th.
El Día de la Batalla de Puebla. The day rolls off the tongue. I see why they changed the Cinco de Mayo. The day of the Battle of Puebla.
It was for marketing.
Yeah, it really was. Family here. This one's I get it. Okay, this is why we're here. Families in California actually were the first to party after this battle.
That's right.
So they've always partied.
yeah.
They partied the most when it comes to Cinco de Mayo. FDR helped commercialize Cinco de Mayo. You son of a bitch.
You don't call it Cinco, you always call it Cinco de Mayo.
Why is FDR?
That sounds better. Do that.
How do you say May 5th to his servant? And he said Cinco de Mayo. Oh, that's what we'll call it.
There it is.
What's
his name?
I guess it's a big day for mole sauce. I didn't know that. We never had mole on Cinco de Mayo. Mole is a kind of a chocolatey sauce, right?
Yeah, Mom makes it a lot.
Even though Mexico doesn't celebrate it, kids get the day off of school.
Hey, there you go.
Unfortunately, it falls
Kids
on a
always
Sunday
win.
this year.
Give them the Monday.
Sorry for
Yep,
the
yep.
niños.
Okay, this one's kind of cool. Americans
You're an idiot.
Americans eat millions of avocados. That's kind
What's
of
so
the biggest
racist?
Avocados
store
and
there.
Mexico.
on May 5th.
We live in California, though. Everyone eats avocados.
They're at the
so-
store like Mexicans like this, right? How is that?
I think it's genuinely recognized as the white girl food.
I was
Avocados
gonna
are
say, I
Mexican.
think it's more white girl
Well,
than it is Mexican.
You know what's the worst is white people tacos and
yeah.
guacamole.
They can never get it right.
That's
Sour
happening.
cream.
Yeah, that's happening all over on Cinco de Mayo.
That's statewide.
Let's have a taco day, and it's
soft flour.
yeah.
We were in Jersey.
shredded
that-
cheddar, like from the pack.
Was it Jersey? I think that's where we were
Plain
at. And someone,
ground beef.
Someone invited us over. Like, we're gonna have taco night. And
Yeah.
me, Joey, and Angel were all pumped. And I was like, yeah,
You invite
Those
3
aren't
Mexicans to
tacos.
taco night. You better bring.
you better bring it.
You better honestly, and you better not ground some beef. You better fry up some.
I want some.
carne asada.
Yeah. It needs to be on the grill.
Hey, real talk though. Is your dad like planning on doing anything?
Yes, yeah. If you're
He's
there,
going.
AJ.
He's going to an event if we go to the big SD. this weekend.
Also, happy 3rd birthday to my little baby girl.
oh, Mom. Oh, that's my.
Okay, here we go. But last one here is most festive Mexican foods actually are Mexican at all, just celebrating the U.S. So
We've
Mexicans, United States really took over the Cinco de Mayo holiday.
just kind of commercialized it. Now we
thanks.
have this racist sombrero in the middle of our show.
We're right in there with them.
We're a part of it.
Angel, you left up your American flag for Cinco de Mayo. You piece
Well,
of
I am Mexican
crap.
American, so I represent both sides. I like that, Gabe.
I feel like you.
I didn't even say anything.
I feel like in reality you don't represent either side. Like you're.
No, he definitely represents
he's pretty
America.
American.
He's
Yeah.
American as it gets.
America.
Selfish.
Fuck yeah.
On the Cinco de Mayo episode.
You had 100 and so somewhat episodes to do that, and you do it on Cinco de Mayo
I
episode.
swear to God, this is your first episode.
it's the off season.
This is your, yeah. Yes, it's May 5th.
Ay.
Not a lot going on. We are going to talk a little football on today's episode, besides just totally trashing a treasured Mexican holiday. We're going to get to fantasy winners and losers. AJ's going to bring us that list. Really excited about that. Haven't talked fantasy in a while, so pumped to get to that. And yeah, we'll get to that in just a second here. But yeah, Cinco de Mayo, guys. Any? Well, I know your plans, so I guess it's weird asking you. AJ, any Cinco de Mayo plans?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I might be with you guys though.
Yeah.
I gotta
You
see
should
if I
come
can
down,
make it
man.
this weekend.
We'll be in San Diego this weekend.
San Diego.
I guess that just kind of ruins it. It's actually not May 5th where we are right now. We're pre-recording this episode.
The illusion is done.
We refer to it as this weekend.
we doing this weekend.
Hey, it's Cinco de Mayo every day here on Bench.
yeah.
We party.
Yeah. Okay, let's take a quick break because I feel like we need a real regroup here. And then we'll get to fantasy football winners and losers post-draft. Be right back.
Aye.
This segment is brought to you by Dad Gang Hats. Dad Gang makes the highest quality hats in the apparel industry because they use premium materials, pay close attention to detail, and prioritize durability and comfort. With so many styles, colors, and designs, they absolutely have the right hat for you and the dad in your life. Use code BENCHED76826. That's BENCHD 76826 for 15% off your first purchase. Shop Dad Gang Hats, quality hats for quality dads. Okay, we are back after a very eventful open. We're going to talk a little football now.
Yeah.
Happy Cinco de Mayo. That's all we were really trying to say.
That long-winded way of saying Happy Cinco de Mayo.
Drink responsibly.
Yep.
And have a great Cinco de Mayo, which is not actually Mexico's.
All right, let's stop talking about it.
Well, just wanted them to know. I learned that today. Okay, not Angels. Gosh, AJ's winners and losers post-draft fantasy edition. Really excited to get into this because I haven't talked fantasy in a minute, and post-draft, some things were shaking up. AJ, I'm going to get out of the way, throw it to you. Winners and losers.
Man, I'm excited. I've been talking about this for months to kind of get into fantasy here, if I could take it over and kind of do my thing. And it's funny, I got into fantasy football because of you guys.
Yeah, bring it.
Back
You're welcome.
when we were all in school together.
Oh, yeah.
I was in your B league at the time. Now I'm in the A league.
Well, I mean, you had
Hey, congrats to AJ.
Hey,
for
you have
making
a
it to
trophy.
the A-League.
Yeah.
Welcome to A-League.
Yep.
And now that trophy sits in front of you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I know.
you done made it, kid.
It's been a long journey.
you
But so yeah, let's talk a little. I got 10 winners. I got 5-ish losers. You'll see why I say ish.
okay, now we're talking rookies and vets. Everyone. The
Yes,
whole
I got rookies and vets. This is post draft. However, things have changed for these players.
Bring it.
Whether they were drafted, whether people were not drafted. So let's just get the obvious one out of the way. Number 1, Caleb Williams.
Yep.
As we've said many times on this show, we've never seen a situation like this for a rookie quarterback. Listing off his weapons, we got DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, newly acquired Rome Odunze, or a Doomsday, DeAndre Swift,
Angel.
Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett. So we got a solid passing game.
Yeah.
Not to mention his ability to pick up a few yards on the ground. Not quite breakaway speed like Lamar Jackson, but just that Patrick Mahomes ability to kind of make something happen. Honestly, I've got this guy ending in the top 10 of my fantasy quarterbacks. What do you guys think?
I think easily top 10. I have. I'd probably put the running quarterbacks ahead of him. I think he's an athletic, but he's not a running quarterback. He's not going to take off and run. So I'd put Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and
Okay, I can't see you.
I put. If Justin Fields is the starter, I think that'd be interesting because of all that running he does. But besides the running quarterbacks, I think he's in that tier of elite throwing quarterbacks, which includes Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud now. I think he's right in there. Oh, Anthony Richardson, the one to throw in there. But as far as that pack, I mean, no one has weapons like he has weapons. And I think that the realistic, I think 50 touchdowns is realistic.
50?
Whoa.
I think 50, I think he's going to, honestly, I think this is one of the top prospects to ever come into the league. And I'm not even a huge Caleb Williams guy, but they're going to, they're telling you what they're going to do, right? They built the offensive line last year. They loaded up on weapons. They did not draft Rome Odunze. You messed me up now. Rome Odunze, number 9, to not throw the ball 35 times a game. They're going to chuck the ball all over the field. And honestly, I don't know a team that keep up with those 3 receivers.
I'm not as optimistic as you are, but we've seen rookie quarterbacks come in and be fantasy relevant. Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud last year. So yeah, I'm on board with a top 10 finish for sure. I think he'll add a little bit more to the ground game than people get. He's a pretty good athlete, maybe 4 or 5 touchdowns. I'm not
I don't
sure
know if he looks to run.
I'm not sure the yards, but the rushing touchdowns just they might be maybe a little read option in the red zones, maybe whatever.
Man, I'd be surprised with that.
But I really do think he's going to finish in the top 10. I am on board this one. This is fantastic because of all the reasons that you guys have said, so I won't say it again, obviously. But happened before, and it will happen again next year.
Now in a redraft league, right? So the year-to-year league, where is he going? Are you taking him as high as, like, are you, because, so in redraft league, right, it's that single quarterback league, right?
Yeah.
So only 12 quarterbacks getting drafted. He's obviously going there because we all think he's top 10. But are you waiting till, like, trying to grab him at the end, passing on a Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes? Because I think those guys will get drafted ahead of him.
Yeah.
And hoping to, like, hey, I'm going to grab someone else there and maybe snag Caleb Williams at the end of the draft or at the end of the quarterback run and have him.
I'm scared he might get overdrafted just because of all the hype.
Yeah.
But he hasn't topped the tier of like Josh Allen, C.J. Stroud. I would take him in that second tier. I'd take him above the Jared Goffs, Baker Mayfield, Geno Smith.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's more of a dart throw, and he's a good quarterback. But
And see, that's
you
like
don't know.
middle of the pack guys right there, too. That's like 15, 16.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are talking about, I was thinking of all the quarterbacks that would go before him. I mean, just off the top of my head, Mahomes, Burrow, Tua.
So
maybe
I
Hell no.
They're building an offensive. That it's an offensive team.
I have a list I
talking,
put together of like where I would take him. Number 10. So I've got number 1, Josh Allen. This is redraft, by the way.
Yeah.
Josh Allen 1, Jalen Hurts 2.
Yep.
I have both of them. Lamar Jackson 3, Mahomes 4. I've got Burrow 5, CJ Stroud 6, Anthony Richardson 7, 8 Dak Prescott, 9 Jordan Love, and I'm taking Caleb Williams at
So
that 10
that
spot
was my-
above Kyler
Sorry.
and Justin Herbert.
So that was my question to you guys: is the 3 guys that I'm looking at going into this season, fantasy wise, who I have no idea where they're going to finish because they could really blow the top off this thing. I want you, Angel, and I want Gabe to rank these 3 guys because I know you're ranking. C.J. Stroud, Caleb Williams, and Jordan Love, fantasy wise. What 3? What's your order?
I will go CJ Stroud. He has the CJ Stroud because he's done it. And then second, I would actually have a. Damn, that's a good one. I'll probably have Caleb Williams and then Jordan Love. But they're close because I think Jordan Love is also an underrated athlete. He puts a lot. He'll give you some on the ground too. But I would have Stroud, Love, and then Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I think the difference here is like the star power versus like these 2 teams they have. You got Diggs and you got all these other guys versus Green Bay. Although a good team, not really a star yet there. So Angels list, I put Green Bay probably at the bottom. Caleb Williams, you're optimistic about him. Me, not so much. Maybe that's because Stroud is in this talk right now. So I'd probably put Stroud 1, Caleb Williams, and Love. I mean, maybe it's a Packer fan in me. I might put Love above him. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, I think Angel list is fine. Putting Love at 3.
We went here in a second, but something cool that's going to happen here because of these 3 guys and the other young quarterbacks coming on is that this quarterback list is lengthening now.
Yeah.
And that's really going to affect drafts because I think people are going to wait on Josh Allen with no Stephon Diggs, Joe Burrow coming off an injury with Matt T. Higgins. Like, I wonder if people wait on those guys and on these younger guys a little later. AJ, go ahead.
All right. Number 2, we've got Marvin Harrison Jr. Another obvious one we'll get out the way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, at the receiver position, now we're talking about a guy who hit the perfect landing spot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of talk about them trading the pick. I'm so glad they didn't trade the pick. This is where he needed to be. It's a match made in heaven. And I've got another top 10 finish here with Marvin Harrison Jr.
I know Joey's bullish on this guy for sure.
I mean,
right?
potential number 1
Yeah.
status here with Jefferson having a new quarterback, Burrow coming off the injury, like I said. I mean, the top of the receiver position is a lot more interesting than it's been in the last couple of years. Marvin Harrison here is going to get all the volume in with the Cardinals. They're just going to throw the ball to him over and over again. They're going to give him the ball behind the line of scrimmage, intermediate, throw deep. He's going to get the ball so many times, like 10 plus looks a game. Smash play Marvin Harrison. And if he can convert on volume the way he converted on volume in college, he's going to go through the roof. Are you with me there?
Yeah, in fantasy football, you're looking for guys who get targets, and he's about to be the target monster for this whole team. So yeah, I'm all in on Marvin Harrison Jr. He might get overdrafted because of this, but it might be worth it because look what Tyreek Hill did for you last year. Look what a couple years ago Cooper Kupp did for your team. Yeah, it might be worth it.
Cooper Kupp's, I think, a great one. I was going to go Keenan Allen when he had all that volume, but yeah, that kind of guy. They're just going to eat everything up. AJ.
All right. Number 3, we just talked about a guy that we're focusing on volume. This is going to be a really big boomer bust guy. I'm going with Xavier Worthy. Just starting off with this, I don't understand the Bills trading a pick to their rival, who they just had on a no-fly list for the Stephon Diggs trade.
Yep.
But, I mean, it looks like the Chiefs did it again. Yes, there's not a great hit rate for these small, speedy guys, but we're talking about a great situational landing spot. Yep. We're talking about a boom or bust. He can give you some dud weeks, but he can also win you some weeks on a stat line of 3 catches for 112 and 2 touchdowns.
I trust Andy Reid with these speed guys here, especially since Wright's going to be out for a while. There's definitely going to be a lot of potential with this guy here.
Last year, Xavier Worthy, 60 receptions, 760 yards, 9 touchdowns, playing for Texas. Also is going to get some run at punt returner. Angel, I know you got some strong feelings on Xavier Worthy, especially with Adonai Mitchell being in the mix. What do you think about Xavier Worthy and the Chiefs?
Not as high as you guys are.
Yeah.
I think Marquise Brown's going to be the guy there. But dart throw, like I just said, you don't know how long Rice is going to be suspended. Marquise Brown was available for a reason. He's been hurt a lot. He could be last man standing there, and last man standing usually ends up winning. So I am on board.
Yeah. I also say this. I think in a redraft league, don't overdraft this guy because you saw how slowly they brought along Rashee Rice last year. I don't care what they say about Xavier Worthy. They're not going to throw him into the mix with a major role right away. I don't care if Rashee Rice is missing. It's going to be a lot of Hollywood Brown, Travis Kelce. I think even Irv Smith, they have in town. I think even those kind of guys, those fringe guys, or the other tight ends. I always mention Irv Smith first, but they have like 4 tight ends. Yeah. I think in Dynasty, though, much more valuable. AJ?
All right, number 4, going with Keon Coleman. This may be the second best landing spot for a receiver in this draft. Targets are wide open. Yeah, he's going to be competing with Dalton Kincaid. I don't see more than 6 to 7 targets for Kincaid. He's competing with Curtis Samuel. To be fair, had a top 25 finish the last time he was in a Joe Brady offense. Yeah. That was 2020 in Carolina. And then there's also Khalil Shakir. He's had some flashes. We still don't know what he is. But you got to think for the Bills, they kept constantly trading back. That means they had their eye on this kid. And I think they have really big plans for him.
Yeah, Keon Coleman is an interesting guy to track here, especially fantasy-wise, because he, like we said, targets are king, and he might get all of them, or at least a good share of a Josh Allen target. We saw with Stephon Diggs. I'm not saying he's Stephon Diggs. I'm saying he might get part of that Stephon Diggs target share. Yeah, I could see myself buying into that.
Here's what's curious about Keon Coleman. He was up and down kind of in college. I fear that they have a big body receiver who doesn't separate that well, is decent, in the deep part of the field. I fear they just got a better version of Gabe Davis here. I fear that they're going to have someone who's going to be boomer bust. Also, last year, you saw in Dorsey's offense how little he would feature one guy. Even James Cook, who had maybe the best run of his career, had games where they just weren't going to him, or he wasn't getting the ball. So very interesting, Keon Coleman here. I think as boomer bust as Xavier Worthy even. And it shouldn't be that way, but just this Bills offense seems like as long as did I say Dorsey? I meant Brady, yeah. As long as Brady's in charge of this offense, I don't know if they're an offense that wants to feature anyone except Josh Allen.
Good point.
AJ?
All right. Number 5 in our winners post-draft, Jonathan Brooks. So, Joey, you've said this a lot. I love this. Cream rises to the top.
Yes.
You got Jonathan Brooks. You got Chuba Hubbard, Miles Sanders. Taking a look at that list, coming away with it, Jonathan Brooks is the guy that's going to lead this backfield by the end of the season. There's a few reasons why maybe he might have a slow start. He tore his ACL last season in college. He should be ready for training camp. Number 2, the Panthers have come out and said that they have big plans for Miles Sanders. Okay. Yeah. You benched the dude in his first year of his big contract.
And last year they said the same thing. Hey, we're really going to throw to this guy this year. Remember that in the preseason? Yeah. Didn't work out.
Glad I traded him.
Yeah, and to AJ's point, they drafted him second round, first running back taken. They could say whatever they want. At the end of the day, this new regime drafted this guy to be their main guy. I'm sure at the beginning it might be a little mixed up, and the season, Jonathan Brooks going to be RB1 for the Carolina Panthers, whatever that's worth. But either way, opportunity is going to be there for him.
Yeah, Jonathan Brooks, like cream of the crop, and what you just said, he is going to be the guy here. I do fear how long that's going to take. That's always like a game that's not so fun to play in fantasy. Right. When are they going to finally give this guy the ball? Miles Sanders is still there. Chuba Hubbard's there. Not guys that we believe in, but guys who are going to get carries. They're not just going to send them to the back. So I worry with volume, but yeah, he's easily going to be the guy there. And just projects as a 3-down workhorse type back.
A lot of fun.
All right, number 6, we're talking about another guy who could possibly take a little while to get there. Trey Benson, running back for the Arizona Cardinals. Ooh. So this is more of a long-term play.
Yeah.
But I probably should have checked my facts here. But if I'm not mistaken, I don't think James Conner has played a full season since he's been in Arizona. And every time he's been hurt, fantasy fans are begging for that backup running back to be somebody.
Over here.
It was DeMercado last year.
DeMercado, they traded for Michael Carter. They've been looking for this guy, the eventual succession plan to James Conner. I love this. Mm-hmm. I do wonder how long this is going to take. This might even be. This is a guy who you can possibly pick and never get to play next year.
Right.
Because they love James Conner.
But the upside is big.
But the upside's very big because if James Conner were to go down and you have Trey Benson, that's a potential league winner type guy.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And they drafted him as essentially the Conner replacement. They're both 6'1". James Conner's 230. I think Benson's 220. 4.39 40-yard dash. The writing's on the wall.
Also, fun times for the Cardinals fans. You have basically your next version of the Cardinals offense here around Kyler Murray.
This reminds me of the Colts 2020 draft. Michael Pittman Jr. and Jonathan Taylor in the same draft.
Love it.
All right, number 7, I'm going with Troy Franklin. Wide receiver, Denver Broncos.
Please, Lord of God.
So this is another situation that seems wide open for a wide receiver to come in. You got Marvin Mims. He averaged 2 targets per game last year. And you've got the heavily rumored trade asset, 29-year-old Cortland Sutton. So these are who he's competing for targets with. Not to mention, brand new Broncos QB Bo Nix was his college quarterback.
That's a great point because we've seen this work several times.
Exactly.
With a quarterback coming in with their favorite weapon.
And not necessarily like real football, but fantasy-wise, this has worked. Marquise Brown going to Arizona a couple years ago, the dude was killing it until he got hurt.
Even if it isn't his like college buddy, it's just someone he really, really likes. I think of last year, C.J. Stroud handpicks Tank Dell in the pre-draft process. He goes to the Texans and it works. We all know what happened to Tank Dell. Troy Franklin, listen, and you're gonna love this comp. I see a little bit of Emmanuel Sanders in him. I think Emmanuel Sanders was that guy who could take the top off of defense, but he was a receiver who can affect every part of the field. Just a solid 3-down receiver. I don't know if he's ever going to be a superstar, but I think it's right away a usable fantasy piece. I would pump the brakes a little bit because you got to figure out what they have at quarterback. You saw last year when Sean Payton feels like the quarterback isn't ready or can't operate the whole offense, he'll just hold that thing back and rely on the running game more, or just have him check down a bunch. So I think long-term wise in a dynasty, Troy Franklin, I love him there. I think a redraft, you might want to wait a little bit.
I think it might be it might be a little bit jumbled at the beginning of the season as far as targets. I think Cortland Sutton's the only guy, if he remains on the team, who's guaranteed to be in the starting lineup. Yeah, we don't know what Mims is. We have hope, and then obviously Troy Franklin here, teammate of now quarterback Bo Nix. Might work out, might not. But yeah, I mean, if you want to take a flyer on a guy who killed it last year with the Broncos starting quarterback, go ahead. This is great.
Last year with Bo Nix, 13 games, 81 receptions, 1,300 yards, 14 touchdowns, 17 per catch. I mean, I think the NFL may have messed up with this guy. Maybe this year's Puka Nacua. We'll see. AJ?
Well, everybody's talking about who's this year's Puka Nacua.
It's Troy Franklin.
I got another one coming up that might be this year's Puka Nacua. All right, number 8, Raiders running back Zamir White.
Ooh.
Okay, so simple and plain, the Raiders did not acquire a clear favorite to take a starting position here. They drafted a running back in the 6th round, and they brought in Alexander Madison, who last year proved he can't really do it when it's his backfield.
Right? We all thought so.
And we were, for years.
We all thought that.
For this. Yeah. This is a look at the last 4 weeks last year, Zamir White. He had 17 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown, 4 targets. 22 carries for 145 yards, 20 for 71 yards, 5 catches for 35, and 25 carries for 112 yards. So they're showing that this is his backfield.
Spread around, yeah.
Yeah, this is interesting because those games came under now new head coach Pierce. So that's probably a good sign that. And then they draft running back, so it's now okay. Well, Madison does scare me. Yeah, he does scare me goal line because they might just think, oh, he's big, so he probably good around the goal line. Curious to see how long that lasts because Madison hasn't proved to be anything elite. But yeah, Zamir White, he's the zero RB king this year. He's gonna get all the carries, all the third down catches. Yeah, I like him this year a lot.
I think it's more of a split with carries with Alexander Madison. And what scares me about Zamir White is I think for him it's going to be about touchdowns. He's going to be one of those guys where if he doesn't get in the end zone, I'm not sure how usable he'll be. I think Madison is as good, maybe better in the passing game. So I think with this guy, it's going to be about touchdowns. I see him as more of a flex option, someone that you don't want to start, but you're happy you have on your bench.
Yeah.
AJ?
It sounds like you two are on there, like, don't draft this guy because Angel's point was that he may not even get the goal line stuff, which is what you're saying.
You just don't know. You've never seen this before.
Yeah.
He doesn't have elite pedigree, so they have no reason to feel pressure to give him the ball. Like, I know they didn't get anyone else, but they did sign Madison. I think I think it's way more likely it's a split backfield. Yeah, which is scary. Which is a curse word in fantasy football.
I hate that word, yeah, for real.
I think your point is just to not don't reach for him.
Yeah.
But if it's at a point where it makes sense that the round that you're drafting at and he's there, take a flyer.
Definitely don't let him go and draft him. It's a guy who upside. I mean, he's
high end RB2.
Yes. AJ.
All right, number 9, we've got Chargers new wide receiver Lad McConkey.
Lad McConkey.
Now this is who everybody's talking about could be this year's Puka Nacua. And isn't that funny how like every year whatever surprise was last year.
yeah.
Everybody tries to find that this year.
Yep.
Okay, so the Chargers have absolutely decimated their wide receiver room.
Yeah.
So competition is 2023 draft colossal failure Quentin Johnson and everybody's fantasy trade sweetener Josh Palmer. Everybody, hey bro, I'll throw in Josh
true.
Palmer. Does that get us
true.
there?
No, thank you.
Okay, so he averaged 9.3 yards per target last year while lining up with Brock Bowers. He was the Robin to Brock Bowers' Batman. He's 6 feet 186, 4.39 40. Honestly, he has a chance to be the instant preferred target for Justin Herbert.
So Lad McConkey to me is someone who I think ended up actually at a terrible spot for fantasy. I don't see the Chargers being in the top half of the league as far as volume passing. And when you get someone like that who's going to rely on slot receptions, you need to get a ton. Think Hunter Renfrow. When he had the targets, cool. When he didn't have the targets,
Sucked.
didn't belong on a roster. And I think Lad McConkey has that same type of fear in his game as well. Are they going to throw it enough to Lad McConkey for him to be a viable fantasy option? Also, they're starting to stack mid wide receivers, which makes me think this might be spread out around a little more than we want to be.
I'm a little optimistic. I think McConkey's the clear most talented. He's also this regime's guy. This is like Quentin Johnston wasn't Harbaugh's guy. This is their guy. I'm more optimistic. I think he could sneak into the top, 35 or 40 even, because he's just the number one option for Justin
like a wide
Herbert.
receiver too?
Yeah, because he's Justin Herbert's number one option.
Wow.
That's where you're at with this guy.
Is he though?
He's by default. Then like someone has to catch ball around there, and I think that they're gonna use him play action. They're gonna be creative with how they use him. And I know they're gonna run the ball a lot, but they're gonna let Herbert cook some. They're not gonna just throw the ball 20 times a game.
Well,
It's the same
I think
situation
they're gonna,
as like the Bills and stuff like that, where like they got rid of their guy and now they have some new guy coming in. I think the volume it's the same exact thing. At least for me, it is.
Here's why for me that's not the same thing. The volume for the Bills and the volume for the Chargers won't be anywhere close next year. The Bills are going to throw it so many more times.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's enough targets to go around this Chargers offense. Also, I don't know if I think everyone across all leagues next year are going to be playing the game of what Chargers receiver do I want. Palmer's better than everyone thinks. Quentin Johnson, people are going to want to believe that he can take a step. Lad McConkey, second round guy for the new regime. Like, is he the guy? DJ Chark, like he's had moments before. Like, I think people are going to it's going to be too much of a guessing game for me. I probably stay away from it, but wide receiver 2 upside, maybe. Yeah.
All right, final choice or final name on this list of the 10 winners. I've got Ravens wide receiver Zay Flowers.
Oh yeah.
The Ravens did not address this need in the draft. They took a wide receiver in the 4th round who will most likely pass Rashad Bateman in the depth chart, who they extended for some reason. So honestly, it's just looking like Zay Flowers is far and away their guy. I'm looking to see a big jump this year with offensive coordinator Todd Monken, who before making the leap to offensive coordinator spent most of his career as a wide receiver coach.
Oh, very nice. I'll make this short and simple. With Derrick Henry, this offense is just going to be better. And I think when you've heard the expression "rising tide raises all ships." I think when you raise the floor of this Ravens offense to even a greater level, I think everyone's going to benefit from that. Zay Flowers, more touchdown opportunity, just a better offense.
Yeah, Zay Flowers, I think I'm more optimistic than you. I think he's going to be fantastic. Just because Mark Andrews,
Sorry, that was a positive. I think he's going to do really well.
Okay, sorry, it sounded like
Yeah, no, sorry. I think Derrick Henry's going to raise the floor of this entire offense, and that's good for everyone.
Oh, okay. I thought he was going to just. Okay, yeah, it's just.
No.
Mark Andrews is just. He hasn't been healthy. Obviously, last year's hurt. I think he's a budding superstar. So yeah, I'm on board.
That's our winners. We're going to take a quick break and get back with AJ's losers. They're back.
I didn't hear a word that you said. Maybe that was just an overreaction. Got a lot that's going on in my head. Yeah, you know I could use a distraction.
All right, we were back on this Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo. I think it's enough of that, to be honest.
Sorry.
I think we're but no, we're right in the middle of AJ's winners and losers. We just went through the winners. Very interesting names. God, I can't wait to be playing fantasy again.
right? For real.
Just stuck to this phone. The data usage, not that. What's the where they measure how much you use each app. I forgot what that's called.
The usage.
Screen time.
Yeah, the screen time for my fantasy football app
It's
is
always big.
insane.
That sleeper app is always at the top.
Yeah. Bench also is going to cover a lot of fantasy. So make sure you guys like, subscribe, follow the channel. We're going to give you all the fantasy info you need to win your league because we have some champions in this room.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right, raise your hand if you won a fantasy championship in the last 5 years. That's what I'm talking about. We're all raising our hand. So that's pretty cool. That worked out really well.
I would have hated to be the odd man out there.
I literally was thinking, did anyone not win?
One of my other one.
Yeah, unfortunately, me and Gabe split a championship.
That's so rough.
Yeah.
Look, it's came and gone, but I really do not like that.
Backstory behind it, it was the game where DeMar Hamlin
Yeah, so sorry, Gabe.
was hurt.
No, that's exactly
Well,
what I
was
said.
hurt. He died. On
Yeah, I don't know
His
how
heart
we word,
stopped.
I don't know how we word it now, but
I know, right?
but it was that game, and he. I think it doesn't matter who it was. There was no clear outcome, so
And
we
Joey
just
had
split it.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen
Gabe
plus
had,
6.
Had Joe Burrow and Jamar
Yeah,
Chase.
it was gonna be a bloodbath, baby.
No, it wasn't.
We
no,
don't.
it wasn't.
We
It
don't. We don't
definitely
know.
was.
We don't know. We
Number
don't
one
know.
player in fantasy,
I was
you
gonna
piece of crap.
blow you
the
out of the
number one
water.
player in fantasy.
Pause.
The number one player in
Oh,
fantasy
my
versus an
goodness.
up and down Jamar Chase.
Can
By
we
the way,
stop?
he didn't do well when T. Higgins did
Allen
well,
would have to
and
score
T.
like-
Higgins already caught a touchdown. So
Allen
you
would have to
lost a
score
piece of
like
crap. That should be my
45
trophy that
points.
year. You piece of crap. You non-championship
Jeez.
having piece of crap. Let's move on to the
It's
losers.
mine this year.
Let's move on to the losers.
gracious.
God, I love fantasy football.
I know, right?
I should have been a GM.
Every dude, every
Dude,
year.
I know, right?
Dude,
Bro, give me a team, bro.
Give me Carolina. That should be turning around in a minute.
Have you guys seen? We gotta move on here, but have you guys seen those phone calls yet with the where as teams are negotiating with other teams and like making picks? Those are all coming out right now after the
No,
draft.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, AJ, you got to watch the one.
that's on
Harry,
Twitter?
the one Harry Roseman on the phone negotiating the pick that to go up and get Cooper DeJean.
That's awesome. It's about time they do something like that.
Yeah, they thought for sure that I guess they got jumped by the Panthers, and they thought for sure they're going to take them, and they didn't, and the whole crowd erupts like we're going to. It's just cool. I love being in, like getting a sneak peek into that room. Like,
All that to say, we be great GMs.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. I mean, YouTube would hate that we said that. I should make that. Let's move on here. Fantasy losers post draft. AJ, go ahead.
All right. So I've got 5 losers here. To be clear, this is talking about redraft, not dynasty.
Or them personally. They're good guys.
Yeah, right. Most of these honestly would be good dynasty picks, but again, we're talking about redraft. Number 1, I'm going with the pairing of Kyren Williams and Blake Corum.
Yeah, I mean, people hate this.
It's just overall, it's just a bad landing spot. Sean McVay's a one running back man. You've got two scenarios here. Kyren Williams stays healthy, and Blake Corum doesn't see the field, sees maybe two carries a game, or Kyren Williams gets hurt, Blake Corum takes over the backfield. We don't hear from Kyren Williams.
You don't hear from him again. Yep.
Yeah. Either way, not back for that. I want to touch because you don't know who the starter is, and if you're wrong, you're dead wrong. The other one is not. The other one is not going to see the field at all. I would bet it'd be Corum, but Sean McVay, you never know, dude. It could be anybody. He could be back Todd Gurley, and he'll be the main guy.
I think you're still safe with Kyren Williams in a redraft league. I think he's still going to be a top 10 guy. I think this does take away his top 3 potential. I think he kind of had that just on volume and how good this offense is. I think dynasty-wise is where you're really confused here. Because who's the guy long-term? I don't know. Kyren Williams was drafted 2 freaking years ago, and now they have – I mean, this is almost as bad as Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet was going to be, you know? Or over in I guess that wasn't a battle, huh? Falcons. Tyler Algier just stopped playing.
Boy, that really sucked.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a confusing situation if you're in Dynasty, but I think Kyren Williams is going to be fine this year.
All right, number 2, I'm going with Malik Nabers, New York Giants wide receiver.
What a poop pick that was, man.
Now, Dynasty could be a good pick. A lot of people had him over Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Wait till they're done with Jones.
I mean, we're going to have to wait a season or 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's a game also that I hate playing in Dynasty is when is this guy going to get a quarterback and then he's going to blow up, right? Talk to Drake London owners, talk to Michael Pittman owners last couple of years, Kyle Pitts, all the Falcons guys. Talk to George Pickens owners.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
They've been
That's a
playing
good
the
one.
same game. So, I mean, obviously elite talent, all that, but God, when does he get a quarterback? I'm not a Daniel Jones guy. I think for me, Malik Nabers is a bench guy until he gets a quarterback.
That sucks.
Yeah, Giants wideout hasn't been productive since OBJ and fantasy relevant since then. I'm not really. Look, real life football, I love it. They needed this really bad. Fantasy wise, Daniel Jones, I don't think he can support a top 20 wideout. Maybe he'll have some weeks, bye week filling week. He's a very good athlete, very good wideout. I'm not sure if that overcomes how little we trust and believe in.
I can't
Daniel
believe
Jones.
your starting quarterback, Daniel Jones, can't support this kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he's still starting.
Listen, any optimism if Drew Lock's the guy?
AJ, who you have next?
Former Bronco fan. No.
All right, number 3, I'm going with the pairing of Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer. Now, tight end's already rough, and we had a generational talent coming in, and guess what? He landed in the worst possible spot.
Yeah, Brock Bowers is going to be a really fun guy, fantasy-wise, but I'm with you. I think Mike Mayer is good enough, young enough, has enough potential still. They don't even know what he is yet, but they wanted Brock Bowers. Apparently, that was their guy. They're going to tag team tight ends, and like I said last time, this hasn't worked as far as in a big production way since Aaron Hernandez and Gronkowski. I literally haven't seen 2 tight ends produce where you can have them both like on a roster. I don't love it. I'd probably stay away from both these guys.
Yeah, rookie tight ends normally don't do well, and if he has to split a target share with another talented tight end, no, I'm out.
Not to mention, Devontae Adams is a target monster.
And so is Jacoby Myers.
Jacoby Myers is really good, and you don't have a good quarterback.
Michael Gallup just went to
Gallup there, and Aiden O'Connell's the guy throwing the ball, or Gardner Minshew, either one. I think
It's not like one's more better.
Yeah, I think this guy's gone. I think there's a lot of those fringe tight ends when you're playing that game you'd rather have than Michael Mayer or Brock Bowers.
Trade deadline guy 2030.
Jeez, wow. All right, number 4 of the fantasy losers, Adonai Mitchell.
Ooh.
So, dude was seen as a potential first-round talent. He'd been mocked to the Chiefs, he'd been mocked to the Bills, and he winds up with the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. just signed a brand-new deal. Not to mention Josh Downs was just drafted last year. Alec Pierce is still there. And then also, it's a small sample size, but Anthony Richardson kind of hovered around 200 yards passing in his 2 healthy games. So we don't know how deep this passing offense is going to be. I don't like this in redraft.
Richardson to me seems like someone who's going to make Michael Pittman a top 10 guy, but I'm not sure behind that who's it going to be because they're all so good.
Yeah.
Like Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, I think the world of. They obviously don't think a lot of them in drafting Adonai Mitchell, and now you get this Adonai Mitchell with that kind of draft capital. I think besides Michael Pittman, I'm good until I see more.
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell was one of my favorite, second round day 2 draft picks. Landon Spot was just too many mouths to feed and too many elite talent. Like Michael Pittman is a very good wideout. And then Josh Downs showed last year in PPR especially he could really clean up. So I'm not sure what's left over, because they have a running quarterback, which means in red zone goal line they're not throwing the ball. They're gonna run the ball because they have Anthony Richardson plus Jonathan Taylor. So I'm not sure the targets are there to make him fantasy relevant at all. I'm with this. I am not in. Out.
They took him in the second round, right? It definitely wasn't the first, right?
No, it wasn't the first.
Okay,
round.
so
It wasn't the first. And he fell.
If the Chiefs would have taken Adonai Mitchell
Yep.
instead of Xavier Worthy, where are we in Adonai Mitchell then?
I mean, he's wideout too. Well,
If
higher.
the Bills took him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sucks for him, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, he's in the NFL, so he's happy.
Yeah. He's a millionaire.
This guy got drafted, man. Sucks to be him.
Yeah. He's also
All right, last one I have is the combination of Christian Kirk and Gabe Davis.
That's an interesting one.
Yep. All right, so one thing the Jags offense needs is an exciting player. They seem to think they have that in first rounder Brian Thomas Jr.
Yep.
He has the tools to be a stud. He's going to steal targets from one of these guys, and honestly, I think at the end of the season, he's going to be the number 1 wide out there.
I mean, we saw last year Trevor Lawrence cannot support multiple consistent wide receivers. Like we all wanted to believe in Calvin Ridley. He was super hit or miss, and then eventually just not there. I think Brian Thomas Jr. obviously is coming in, and I think they want him to be the number 1 like X type receiver. And I just don't see. I don't know. I just don't see the situation working out any differently than it's always worked out. Christian Kirk's going to be probably your best option. Other than that, we'll see. Kind of play it by matchup. For me, the only guy here that's usable is Christian Kirk, and I have him as a wide receiver 2, but I don't feel great about it.
Yeah, he's a PPR guy, and even in PPR, the games that he was healthy, he only finished in top 23 times out of 13.
Yeah.
I mean, a 13 game he didn't finish, but still 3 out of 12 isn't great. And they just added more weapons around him. Never been a Gabe Davis guy, so I'm not even gonna try to not spin.
Talk
that
about
one.
inconsistent.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that.
Throw
So
Gabe Davis in there.
yeah, so I think this might be. I think the best pass catcher in Jacksonville is actually Evan Ingram. That's the guy who I would target.
Yeah.
Not to mention Evan Ingram. Like, he's
Yeah.
become a major part of that offense.
Last few years, he's really climbed.
The most consistent part.
Especially last year. So I'm not about to buy in on a wideout who just had more competition come in there. 2 of which are down the field touchdown guys. And PPR, Kirk is fine. I'm not gonna go all out, and Gabe Davis isn't on my radar.
Yeah. So who's draftable in this wide receiver room? You obviously draft Brian Thomas Jr. just for the potential of it.
Yeah, I would just go with either Gabe. I would go with Brian Thomas Jr. and then Christian Kirk after that. Kirk. If I'm PPR, I would take Kirk. If it's just a standard league, I'm taking Brian Thomas Jr. as a flyer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go all out for Christian Kirk.
Jeez, man. Remember last time, not this time, it was right before the season, where we were at with the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence.
Yep.
Like, we were
pumped.
thinking, like, this team's about to go off.
Yeah.
And now we're like, I don't know, maybe Christian Kirk.
Well, that's what happens when your quarterback is kind of a bust, but no one wants to say it.
We say it
there it
here.
is.
We say it here.
What has he done? Nothing.
AJ?
Go ahead.
That's it. That's all we got.
All right, thanks, AJ. That's an awesome list. Winners and losers, fantasy-wise. And I hope, hey, listen, guys, listen up, because we're gonna win your league. Again, raise your hand if you won a championship the last 5 years. Yeah, that's all it was.
Everyone in the room.
Raise your hand, Angel, when you won a championship.
Sorry.
There you go.
I was just thinking of other winners and losers. Winners right now, I know, because they have added nothing to the wideout room in Pittsburgh. If George Pickens remains the only guy there, that might be a very, very sneaky winner.
I had this, and I didn't want to step over AJ's segment, so I didn't share it, but I'll share it now. I forgot who it was, but they released the biggest movers post-draft as far as ADP. The biggest movers, like as far as like risers, fallers, okay? Zeke Elliott getting drafted now way higher than he was before. Obviously, maybe people are thinking this guy might be the guy who takes over this backfield. Keon Coleman, we talked with him, Xavier Worthy, McConkey, Rico Dowdle. I think people are kind of trying to play that game like, who's the Cowboys guy going to be?
Not doing that.
Yep. Biggest fallers, Michael Mayer, AJ had him. Braylon Allen, that's a very interesting one. A lot of people liked him, big back, but he goes to the New York Jets, and obviously Breece Hall is just a hog with that backfield. Justin Fields falling. I don't really get that one. But I get in a redraft league.
Because you don't get points for kick returns, and that's going to be his game.
Jesus. Chuba Hubbard, gone. Elijah Mitchell, not there anymore. This one's interesting. Biggest jumps from a previous ADP where just he wasn't getting drafted at all. Ben Sinnott, who I mentioned last show. Kimani Vidal. I can't remember who drafted him. I can't remember right now, but he's
Chargers?
I think it might be the Chargers. I think that's just one of those things where like there's no one else there. I know the Commanders got Luke McCaffrey and are hoping that maybe he can be the guy, although I don't really get that one because he's a pretty good wide receiver room. And then Bo Nix. I mean,
Yeah, it's
Listen.
the Chargers. Kamani Vidal, running back.
yeah,
for the Chargers.
Monte Vidal. You heard it here first. And then Bo Nix. Who knows? Right. Maybe.
Yeah, he's probably. Do not draft Bo Nix. Because he's not a runner, and I don't think he's going to tear up the league in touchdown passes. So
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you made the comp last time. Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy, which is fine if that's your ceiling, but for fantasy, Brock Purdy was quarterback 2 at best, quarterback 1. Some weeks, but yeah, I'm not going to go all out for Bo Nix.
That's all we got today, guys. Thanks so much for joining us for episode 122. Again, happy Cinco de Mayo.
Cinco de Mayo, baby.
Party it up. We're going to party all weekend. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Wednesday.
I guess, yeah. It's hard doing this. Talking to Joey in the future.
Yeah.
We'll see you Wednesday.
Peace.
With our next show, episode 123. See you then. Bye.